One motorcycle follows the next, and soon a whole fleet streams past me. An indescribable noise fills the night. Some also veer towards the gas pumps, and I am aware that we must not miss this opportunity. Awoken by this abnormal noise, Francisco also emerges from behind the gas station and, rubbing the sleep from his eyes, walks towards the outlaws. "Our car exploded," he shouts at one of the bearded men who, with one hand, is refueling his bike, while with the other lighting a cigarette. Surprised, he looks at his companions and bursts into laughter. "That must have been the news of the day, and all this at 2 o'clock in the morning," the fat man roars with great amusement. "But tell me, why should I care?" he asks with a stony expression. Francisco grabs him by the balls and with a clenched fist shouts to his face, "Because we are on the trail of the European dream, and if we don't find it, we are all screwed." The bearded man goes down on his knees, gasping. "We are on our way to Capo da Rocca, but we can give you a ride," he says, looking down. Francisco silently mounts the bike. With the flag tied as a cape, I join one of the others on the motorcycle, and like the Huns, we gallop into the night, past the burning wreckage, further south. My rider pushes his machine to the limit, and so we glide in the flow of these leather-clad freaks. I see men and women who have left behind their ordinary lives to now worship freedom on two wheels. Nomads, I read on their leather jackets. They belong to the 1%ers. On the horizon I see towers of clouds illuminated by lightnings. Wrapped around the belly of the biker, Francisco speeds past us, heading straight into this storm that in its appearance comes close to an apocalypse. How would the story of this continent continue if people kept distancing themselves from each other out of fear? Nothing would improve, not for us, and even less for our children. In their fear, people question who is responsible for this chaos in the world, often pointing fingers at others. Ironically, each individual of those others is asking itself the exact same question. With fingers pointed in various directions, the concept of the foreign seems vague enough to encompass all the causes for the chaos. The thought of everything that is going wrong in the world fills them with fear, and in this situation, a desire not to stand alone pushes them towards various forms of idealism. Idealism, with its notion of the one truth, holds the other, the incomprehensible, responsible. Instead of mustering the courage to get to know this element of the other, the individuals hold the foreign to blame, and in this entirely arbitrary and blind condemnation, presented to them as a well-considered and rational insight, fear binds them together in small groups. Fear confines and envelops them, making the individual small. We live in a society driven by fear, and on our quest for liberation we seek belonging. Throughout our entire lives we have been on the run from ourselves, instead of simply stopping and facing our fear, instead of realizing that liberation sleeps within us. We were born free and we will die free, and freedom in life we will only find if we understand that the love within can never be found outside. All of a sudden, thousands of Jews are making their way to Israel out of fear of a new wave of anti-Semitism. Last Thursday, people in the United Kingdom voted 48 to 52 in favor of leaving the European Union. All of that in 21st century Europe. One would not believe it if it was not happening in this very moment. Thick drops I can feel on my skin, it's getting colder. Lightnings light up the sky in the distance. Zeus is trying to keep us from making his affair public. The drops briefly disappeared as all of a sudden we ride into a wall of rain. This madman wants to throw us off the machine. I crouch behind the sturdy body of the nomad. With our heads tucked in and cramped faces, we pass other bikers who light their cigarettes under the protection of the bridges. The nomad I'm with has clearly opted for a flight forward. Like a berserker, he rides the motorcycle at the speed where the drops suddenly feel like stones, and I wonder in pain what this man must be going through right now. We are overtaken by Francisco and the biker, who with one arm covering his face has also decided to escape ahead. Head to head, I look over and see Francisco, who, with his eyes closed, seems to be in a totally different place. I feel a sense of fear and recall Francisco's idea. Instead of resisting this feeling, fully embrace it. I sense something happening within me and hear Francisco's words. We are on our way to a place where we love and accept ourselves as we are, not having to achieve anything to make up for the pain we felt when we were rejected by those we loved. We know that every fear is the fear of the feeling we felt when we found ourselves not good enough in our nature, and know that no rejection in this world could ever dismiss us from reality. The only thing that will free us from the feeling of fear, loneliness, and boredom is the awareness that everything we are looking for is within us. We feel the feeling of perfection that we long for when we dream of achieving our goals, then, and only then, when we accept ourselves 100%, including that which this system looks at as not perfect. At this moment, the rain stops. I open my eyes, seeing the starry night. A mild warmth has returned, and more pronounced than ever, the scent of the sea lies in the air. The asphalt is dry. Nothing would have led me to believe that the situation we found ourselves in just moments ago would come to such an abrupt end. This rain has cleansed me of something that hung like a veil over my life. Where do I want to live if not in this moment? The age-old question of who am I will only be answered in the present. Attempting to solve this puzzle in the future or the past will at most reveal who I want to be or have believed myself to be. I believe in no beginning and believe in no end. I believe in being. I want to free my thoughts from the future and the past to find what before I was only capable of seeing in trance. I am myself. My truth is the truth that matters to me. And my truth is love, the universe. Hallelujah. Allah is great. Mazel tov. Only when we are capable of loving ourselves will we be able to share that love. And since this system constantly strikes fear into our hearts, we are unable to go within. These cunning bastards. Now world peace can come. Children, put down your weapons. We are the messiahs of our time. The witness of now. Holy shit! The biker has tamed his riding style and is now cruising along. I am ready for the Europe of my dreams, a place where all people who come here in search of peace, whether fleeing war or seeking economic opportunities, can find a good life, where people meet in the moment and no matter how different they may seem, share that moment together, where religions merge and the God they worship is recognized as one. A Europe of love, where unconditional basic income, along with unconditional health insurance, are part of our basic rights. A Europe where one by one nations bid farewell to their militaries. If we can free those who invented money from their fears, we can join the billionaires at the barbecue, raise a toast, and laugh about the bad old times. On the hard shoulder, Francisco is waiting together with the motorcyclist who, happy to have survived the storm, hangs his leather jacket over the handlebars. We park our bike, and with his arm stretched northward, the nomad says, "About 300 meters in this direction, there's a train station whose tracks will take you to Venice. As much as I hate to say it, this is where our paths diverge." Francisco apologizes once again for having squeezed his balls at the gas station, but it was necessary. With a pat on the shoulder, we bid farewell, and as we say our goodbyes, the entourage speeds past us. We jump over the guardrail, throw ourselves through the bushes, and make our way to find that train station.